guys, I'm Brianna. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm in a little bit of a different setup today. I wanted to sit on my floor because yeah, I really just did. So you're seeing like the lower parts of my shelf. So this is like my romance shelf, and this is my Saga Mass and fantasy shelf. So to get into today's video, today I'm sharing with you guys some fall recommendations. I recommend reading these books in the fall because they either have to deal with fall weather or they're just like fall-esque books, like books that remind me of fall. So I have a couple here. I don't even know how many I have. So at the end of this video, you guys will know. But I have a couple of really good mix of books. Some books I've recommended before, some haven't. So I tried to do some new books in here. But yeah, so I'll get right into the video. So the first book I recommend is King by T.M. Frazier. I really enjoyed this book. This is technically a duology. So the first two books in this 8-9 book series follow King, so you want to kind of read the first two together because it ends in a cliffhanger if you don't finish it. But I love this book. It's a motorcycle gang type book, and it follows a girl named Doe who's kind of homeless. She befriends this other girl who's like psycho, and they end up going to a motorcycle party type of deal, and she meets King, and there's like a whole big story surrounding that. But it's such a fall type book. I always think motorcycle clubs are very fall type books to me. I really recommend reading this in the fall. Such a great read if you like dark romance, if you like things that are twisted kind of, then definitely check this book out. Then this is a no-brainer for the fall, and that's Culty by Mariana Zapata. I absolutely love this book when I read it. This book was just amazing. It's a soccer slow burn romance, so they don't get together until like the last couple chapters. But this is such a great read, and it's a soccer book, and soccer is technically a fall sport, in my opinion. So definitely read this in the fall. I read it in the summer, but still I loved it no matter what. This is so good. This follows a girl named Sal, and she's a professional American soccer player, and they end up getting a new coach named Rainer Culty, and he ends up coaching them, and it's a whole big thing. She loved him as a kid, but she doesn't really like him now. He's kind of rude, doesn't really coach at all, and it's just so freaking good. I love this book so much, and it's really what a real relationship is in this book. Just the growth of a real relationship. I 100% recommend it. If you like romance, if you like soccer, if you like anything, read this book. Then the next book is a fantasy book, and that's White Hot Kiss by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Love this book, and this is actually getting a spin-off. I think it's a standalone or a series. I'm not 100% sure, but so this is a trilogy, and this follows Roth, Layla, and Zane, and she's I forgot what they call her. She's half demon, half gargoyle, and she is living with the wardens who are gargoyles, and they like guard the city and kill demons and this whole big thing. And Roth is a demon, so it's all about her trying to figure out what's happening in her life and everything. I just love this series so much. It has just a beautiful place in my heart. I really enjoy it. It's just so good, the trilogy. I fly by reading it. And I definitely recommend reading it this coming fall, since the next book is coming out, I believe, spring 2019, I think March. But I really recommend reading this book. The next one, I pretty much recommended all my recommendation videos, and that's Catching Jordan by Miranda Kennelly. I don't know if it's Kennelly or Keneally. I just say Kennelly. I love this book. It's really short, so if you want something quick and easy, read this book. This follows a girl who plays football, and this new guy comes to school. She's quarterback, I believe. Yeah, she's quarterback of the high school football team. A new guy comes to school, and he played quarterback at his old school, so it's kind of like competition for her. And there's obviously a love triangle, but this book is just so amazing. I love this book so much, and I love this author as well. I feel like she does really solid YA books, and it's sad that the series ended. I think there's 7 books in the series, but I really absolutely love this book specifically, and it has a beautiful spine as well. It's like purple, but definitely check this out if you want something for the fall. Then I have the usual Throne of Glass by Saga Mass. I just love this series so much. It's not as good as the ACOTAR series in my opinion, just because the first book is very different from the rest of the series. Don't get me wrong, I still love the series no matter what, but this book, it's definitely different than how I thought the rest of the series would go. So yeah, but it's a fantasy book. I just love Sarah's writing. I really like, even if she wrote completely different books, her writing is just really, like, really well thought out and well done. Yeah, so this follows a girl named Selena Sardathian. She is an assassin, and she's pretty much in this, like, prison concentration camp type thing. And she is taken away from that and is thrust into a competition to become the king's champion, which is basically the king's assassin that does his dirty work. And she gets her freedom in, I think, 4 years, something like that. So it's all about this, and it's like a competition. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. I just really, really love this book. I love Selena as a character. She's very sarcastic, so reading this book is just great. And it's such a fall read. I feel like fantasies for me are fall reads. I tend to read fantasies a lot in the fall. But this is just a phenomenal book, and I really recommend it to you guys. Then, this is a controversial book because it hasn't gotten the greatest ratings. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5. I don't know if I gave it 4.5. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, and that's Zenith, the Roma Saga by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. I loved this book when I read it. I did give it a 4. I actually like the paperback cover better, so I'm probably going to pick that up. Maybe soon, I'm not sure. I'm trying to, keep my money for college. But I love this book. It's a space book. It's sci-fi. I normally don't read sci-fi, but this to me is a crossover between Star Wars, kind of a little bit of Shadowhunters, and the Queen of the Tearling. The Queen of the Tearling, I think, is heavily influenced by this book. Or no, this book's influenced by Queen, yeah. I just feel like a lot of elements from the Queen of the Tearling series are in this. I don't think they've ever read that series, but I love the Queen of the Tearling series. It's just great. But this book I really enjoyed. It takes place, this crew of girls, I think her name's Andy. I haven't read this since, like, it came, yeah, Androma. She is, like, the leader of this crew of space girls, and they basically are kind of assassins for hire, or not assassins for hire, they're like, they just get stuff done for a person if they hire them. I really enjoyed this book. It's a sci-fi novel, like I said, and a lot of elements in this book are just really good and very entertaining. And book 2, Nexus, comes out, I believe, in January. I don't know if they've set a release date yet, but I think it comes out in January. I'm definitely going to pick that up because I really enjoyed this book. The next book I have is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I loved this book when I read it. It was so good. Definitely a fall book. It's a fantasy. I love this book so much. So this, I don't really remember the full premise, which is so bad. I read this last October, so like pretty much a year ago. But I believe this follows a girl named Jude. I think her and her sisters were taken when they were younger. Yeah, they were stolen away from her parents after her parents were murdered, and they're living in the fairy kingdom now, and it's all about them being human and everyone else being fairy, and there's like a lot of like deception in the courts and everything. I just enjoyed this book. I like fairies, and I like seeing the different sides of fairies in each book. I know a lot of other people love this book as well as I do. I really just think it's a fall read. I'll probably bring it to college with me again because, again, book 2, The Wicked King, comes out in January, and I'm very excited for that. And plus, this cover is just gorgeous. Then I have another fantasy, and that's Haven by Mary Lindsay. This I really loved. It's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It's very different. I'm not going to say too much about it because I went into it blind, and I loved it the way I went into it. And this is pretty much all I'll say. It's paranormal. And I think there's werewolves in here. But I really loved this book. It's paranormal and it's kind of a romance, not heavily romance, but it was just really good. and just crazy a lot of stuff. Like, I just didn't know what to expect going into this because I did not read the inside cover jacket, so I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, but definitely check this out if you want a YA paranormal. Then I have Roar by Cora Carmack. This, for one, the cover is just stunning, and this book is phenomenal. Like, I'm not bringing this to college with me. The only reason I'm not is because book 2 comes out in June, so I may bring it second semester, because I just want to read this as close to the book 2 release date as possible. But I just absolutely love this. Cora normally writes new adult or adult, pretty much new adult romance. So the romance in here was like a new adult romance, which I really, really enjoyed. But the fantasy in this story was just so crazy. It was very, very different from what I thought it would be. And I loved every minute of this book. And I cannot wait for book 2 to come out. And this cover's just like really shiny and so pretty. And I love this book so much, guys. I definitely recommend checking it out. It follows a girl who is going to be put into an arranged marriage, so I think she can be queen. It's kind of like that. And there's like storm powers, so people are able to control the storm. So it's like that. It's really good. Definitely 100% recommend this book. The next book I have is To Kill a Kingdom by Alexander Christo. This was phenomenal. This is kind of... It's not really a Little Mermaid retelling, you know. How do I describe this? It takes place in sea, so it has sirens in it, and I really love anything to do with sirens and mermaids. So it has a siren in it, and there's like a prince, and she pretty much steals hearts of like princes, kings, queens, like royalty in general. And it talks about that. I love this book just because I love the ocean and learning about all that stuff, but I definitely really recommend this book if you're looking for something oceany, if that makes sense. Yeah. We're almost done, guys. The second to last book is An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I really love this book, and it is very short. It's about 320 pages. It's just really good. It's another side to the fairies. She is an artist, and she's commissioned to do artwork for the Fae, but she can't show emotion in a painting. So when she shows an emotion of a really high regarded prince, she's taken away to the fairy kingdom for a punishment. It's like a whole big thing. I really, really love this. You definitely have to read it slow, and it is a standalone, which kind of sucks because I really love the world in this book, but this was just a great book in general. And the last book should come as no surprise, and that's A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Guys, this book is just perfect. I love this book. Like, the series is beautiful, and the next book in the series isn't coming out till 2020, which makes me very, very sad. But this series just is really good. The original trilogies, amazing. Just her writing's phenomenal. This is kind of a Beauty and the Beast retelling, the first book, but after that it takes place with the Fae. Oh my god. The sun just went down, so my light got really bad, so I'm sorry if the lighting's bad. But this book is just so good, and I highly recommend it. So that's it for my fall recommendations. I hope you guys got some good recommendations from this video. Definitely check them out, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Bye, guys!